Hi, I'm Jane King, and this is New to the Street, in person back here at the NASDAQ market site in New York City. This show is all about public, private, blockchain companies, the CEOs, the founders, and the innovators, bringing you lots of opportunities to consider. Here we go. Mikra has products for health and wellness, and they work on this cellular level. And with me is the CEO, Faraaz, Jamal, to talk a little bit about the product and just, you know, I know like it was sold out or something, right, when you first initiated it. So bring me up to date on how sales are going.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've sold out a few times right now, and the demand continues to be pretty intense. And you know what, it's getting towards that season where people are feeling a little bit more tired, and like it's getting colder outside, and people want to kind of boost their immunity and things like that. So we're seeing amazing success.
No, I've definitely felt tired this week. So, and you do you're doing direct to sale technology. Yeah. So how does that work?
Yeah, so our cellular technology essentially works in two stages. So when you ingest self, it goes through your gastric environment unchanged, so it doesn't get digested by your stomach acids or anything of the sort. And then when it gets to your small intestine, our technology actually has we call it a little marker on the compound, and it signals to your body that it needs to be absorbed directly into your cells. So it's essentially the same way that your body absorbs iron. We've just mimicked that process, so we can ensure direct-to-cell delivery for your entire system.
Yeah. And you told me it was almost kind of like a peanut butter, like a spread that you eat.
Yeah, that's
and that's how it works. So do people like mix it with things, or how do they?
Yeah, our customers mix it with almost anything, just basically nothing hot. So our product isn't oxidized at all when it's manufactured. So we want to make sure that it's as potent as humanly possible. So as soon as you open the packet, feel free to throw it into your smoothie, but just consume it in like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Now, what about the holidays? Do you anticipate big demand for the product?
Yeah, so we're actually, we're just on the cusp of selling out again. And that's mainly because people are kind of gearing up for like family time, a little bit more intense of a stressful period. And self honestly works that way. Like, the major things that people complain about during the holidays is like high stress, and they feel tired, and there's a lot of brain fog and things like that. And self, with our technology and our ingredients, it cuts right through all of that. Yeah. And it really, really does help everyone.
So what other products do you have in the pipeline?
Yeah, so we've got one coming up with Jose Bautista, which is a cellular therapeutic, and essentially it enhances your ability to perform as well as recover. So once you do take it, you perform better for about 2 hours, and then the product wears off, but you don't feel any sort of any caffeine crash or anything like that. And then on top of that, it curbs your inflammation. So we've built a little bit more on the sports side, but self is kind of the foundational element. So it has all the things that self has, but just tweaked a little bit more for performance.
And then how can somebody find these products?
Yeah, so they're all sold at wearemikra.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a great holiday season with the products. We all fight our tiredness, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Do your employees use Zoom? Do your employees use Microsoft Teams? Professionals need enhanced security. Add Verify's Defender for the only secure, zero-trust video conferencing protection. Your employees, clients, and patients deserve it.
My name is Kelly Walters. I'm the CEO of the VRM BioLogik Group. I have been in the role for 4 years, and my responsibility ultimately is to honour the vision of the founder and president and implement the company's goal, or mission rather, which is restoring 25% of the world's arable land in 25 years. My first exposure to humus soil was in a landfill site in the Southern Highland area in New South Wales in Australia. I remember going down there in business clothes to make sure that this project was operating well, and the guys handed me a pair of oversized gumboots and said, "Go have a play." I remember digging my hands into this pile of material. It was clean, it smelt rich, it smelt like the earth, and it made me feel good just standing there looking at it. I knew it had come from green waste, food waste, and a whole lot of icky stuff that people don't normally like to deal with. And here I was standing there with it in my hand thinking I could actually grow something with this. It was just an absolutely astounding product as far as I was concerned, and I have been playing with it ever since. It doesn't stop in terms of me just wanting to get my hands into the humus soil wherever we are in the world, whoever is manufacturing it. It is such a revolutionary product to be able to replace fertiliser, to be able to not have any kind of chemical impact on the earth going forward, to be able to grow clean, healthy food for future generations. Yeah, it's just astonishing. I could not have ever imagined I would be in this position.
So that one there, there is no other process. There's no other process. There is no other process converting organics that doesn't have a net carbon emission. We don't care about the organic material, we care about what it does. Where it goes, it adds a thing called hydrosynthesis. Now that's a real fancy word, and you can take a photograph of that because I made it up. It's a brand new word in the English language, it didn't exist before. Biological hydrosynthesis is that's a word used to describe the process of water manufacture that didn't exist before. Hydrogen plus oxygen equal water. The mechanism for making water is to find some guy who mixes those two things well. We found the guy. We trained them, we got to know them, we made friends with them. We used your pile of organic material to have a party for these guys. When they have a party, they make water. And they don't make water just while you are in process, they make it for years afterwards, which is what you found. Years afterwards. They make it wherever you deliver that to. Our objective is to improve the fact of and the future of growing food on 25% of the world's arable land. But this is point number one, is that we learnt how to trigger this natural reaction everywhere, in any type of soil, in any altitude, in any climate, in any temperature, in any weather.
It was really serendipitous, the expansion of VRM into the US, us looking for a partner, a business that we could work with who had the same philosophy, who had the same value system, and along came SGTM and Tony and Tammy. The first couple of conversations, of course, this happened sort of just post-COVID, so we weren't able to travel outside of Australia. We've been talking to Tony on screen for 6 months, so we just met him yesterday. To actually stand in front of he and Tammy, to spend the whole day with them talking about how aligned we are in our mission, it's just such a pleasure and an honour to be able to come to the US and to work with SGTM and the team.
From the very first meeting that we had, I think it was about midnight, because in Australia we're in a completely different time zone. It's past my bedtime, but boy did I ever wake up. And I wasn't able to go back to sleep. And the next day I got together with Brian and I said, man, what I listened to in this download was so incredible. And we just kept on working together, one Zoom meeting after another. And now that we've actually formed a partnership and we're working together, we want to make sure that we get Humisoil in every household across the nation and every Caribbean island. And for us to do our part from the U.S. to work together. And that partnership to us is definitely sustainability in its finest, bringing together technology, taking waste that normally would be releasing carbons in the atmosphere and taking everything back and within itself, creating life. That's sustainability for our future.
That this process is built on stimulating photosynthesis which is in the ground, not photosynthesis which is above the ground in the plants and the trees. A whole nother kingdom on the planet that exists everywhere. And one key feature of that group is that they mobilise phosphorus. It's a key feature. So every time you make Humisoil, you'll end up with a percentage of phosphorus in the organic material close to 1%. So when you put a yard of Humisoil out on the ground, you're putting out 1% of that yard is straight fertiliser.
Well, the concept itself of wanting to feed the world, you know, it's a very lofty goal. So how many people are there in the world now? Billions. We are a small team of people. We're not going to be able to do that, to achieve any kind of change, to engage and empower unless we all do it together. That's the whole idea. I think that we, with our partners all over the world, are going to make a significant impact. We're going to save lives. We're going to save generations. It's as simple as that. I think that if we continue in the same path that we're going, then we can correct a lot of the damage that's been done in the past. We'll be able to ensure that at the very least, this generation's done its best to make sure that the next couple of generations enjoy life.
Here we are, and this great revolutionary technology breakthrough, and we're going to grow water. Come on, you know, who can say they're growing water? I love it.
Do your employees use Zoom? Do your employees use Microsoft Teams? Professionals need enhanced security. Add Xerify's Defender for the only secure Zero Trust video conferencing protection. Your employees, clients, and patients deserve it.
PetVivo is a company that's working with a tool that helps with the management of osteoarthritis when it comes to horses and dogs and cats at some point in the future. And with me is the CEO, John Lai, to bring us up to date on the company. I remember when we talked last time, you had just reached that big partnership with MWI Animal Health, and that's progressing as you expected?
Yes, actually probably better than what I've expected.
Awesome.
To summarize on the product, it's a naturally derived product that mimics cartilage and tissue, and Spring with OsteoCushion is a very innovative and disruptive tool in the management of osteoarthritis, lameness, and also rehab in horses and dogs, because we have found that in real-world applications, dogs are recovering 50% faster after surgery and stuff like that for rehab. So there's multiple benefits. Yeah. So our market really is much larger than what you expect in the total addressable market, because we're providing a solution for an individual that can't afford a joint surgery and the dog is so bad they have to put the animal down. We're providing something that's relatively inexpensive that will extend the life of that animal for the next maybe 1 to 3 years more, and that's significant when you're talking dog year. Yeah. And the enjoyable time. And it's also increasing the quality of life for the animal, because we're finding mobility increase and reduction in pain.
So talk to me about the actual product. What is it exactly? How do you explain the Spring product?
So we developed this protein particle matrix out of the base proteins are collagen and elastin, which are building blocks of human tissue and cartilage. The carbohydrate is heparin. Our proprietary manufacturing process creates this matrix once it's injected. So we sell this product to veterinary doctors. The veterinary doctors inject it into any articulating joint. Once it's in the joint, it fills in the area where cartilage used to be. And it's pretty interesting when you have these microscopes that can track all this and you see it going into the voided areas. But once the particle goes in there, it starts to form a scaffolding. And that scaffolding mimics the cartilage that used to be there. And these particles are wet and lubricious. So every time the dog runs or jumps, it's actually lubricating the joint and preventing the bone-on-bone contact, so you don't have the friction and creating the inflammation
and the pain and all
correct,
that. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. How does 2023 look? What kind of things are you looking to accomplish next year?
So we got the internal system with MWI and us put together. It's their ADI system for ordering and tracking. So they use artificial intelligence and automatic ordering for distribution centers. At the end of September, we shipped to multiple distribution centers within the United States, and we were very happy with the initial sell-through. It's really difficult because to really judge off the sell-through, because there was pent-up demand going into it. So you get a surge of orders that sells through to the vet. Obviously, it'll plateau, and then we'll figure out how it goes from there. Yeah. But as more clinical data comes out, we look at doing extremely well. And over the next 6 months, we probably have 4 other studies coming out.
Oh, interesting. There's going to be a lot of data to pour over, it sounds like, over the next 6 months or so.
Yeah, our people get to talk about it at the major trade shows. And, one of the big things with MWI is they have the educational arm, Acurx, which gives the veterinary doctor continuing education credits, what they have to do on an annual basis, and they'll be able to show the Spring product, how it's different compared to the competitors, the longevity, and naturally derived.
Yeah, okay. Well, great to get an update, John. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good seeing you again, Jane.
Do your employees use Zoom? Do your employees use Microsoft Teams? Professionals need enhanced security. Add Zarify's Defender for the only secure, zero-trust video conferencing protection. Your employees, clients, and patients deserve it.
Thousands of people use Phantom every day to access DeFi, NFT, Metaverse, and GameFi decentralized applications. On Phantom, you can trade, lend, and borrow in a fully decentralized way with instant speed and near zero fees. Whether you're an artist or a collector, there's a rich and accessible NFT ecosystem to explore. Join your friends in the Metaverse for exciting digital experiences or play revolutionary Web3 games. Join Phantom today.
Acurx Pharmaceuticals is working on a novel class of antibiotics that treat some of the most common infections, C. difficile, also MRSA among those. And with me is the CEO, David Luci, to bring us up to date on some of these things. And I know we talked not too long ago, you had some studies and stuff going on. So talk a little bit about the microbiome data.
Yes.
What did that tell you?
So what the microbiome data shows is that we're restoring a healthy microbiome in the patients who have C. difficile by the end of just the third day of treatment out of a 10-day treatment regimen. And it also showed us that the secondary bile acids are unusually elevated by the end of treatment, which is scientific terms for the risk of relapse or reinfection is very low because of the presence of so many secondary bile acids.
Yeah, well, and that was a big problem with the C. diff, was the reinfection rate. That was,
yes.
You know, I mean, it was, it was a good treatment, but it could have been a lot better.
Yeah, so oral vancomycin is the frontline therapy. It's got a 20 to 40% reinfection rate, and we think that's why Pfizer and Sanofi attempted but failed at having vaccines as frontline therapy for C. difficile.
Interesting.
We think we have something that, our data is consistent and it's consistently excellent, going all the way back to preclinical.
Yeah.
And we're seeing signs now in the phase 2B showing that consistency is just moving forward.
And C. diff is common, you mentioned, in nursing homes and hospitals when people
Yes,
kind of
it
at their
is.
most vulnerable. So this is a huge problem with healthcare.
Yes, it's 500,000 patients per year, according to industry estimates, and 30,000 people a year die.
Yeah. All right. So there's also a non-dilutive grant opportunity that you're
Yes.
looking at. So
Yes.
tell me about that.
So that actually is $16 million of non-dilutive funding that would pay for our second antibiotic program, which targets the treatment of MRSA infections, both orally and IV. And it pays for 5 years, 70% of 5 years of all of the R&D that will be required. So it really puts the second drug on the map. And if we get this grant, we expect to be able to announce it in April.
Yeah.
So the next 6 months between the 2B data, which could be out by April, we're not sure, we haven't guided, between that and with the grant, by the end of April, I mean, we have multiple shots on goal. Those are the biggest two, other than the 900-pound gorillas in the room, which are the Disarm Act and the Pasteur Act, which is the government's way to kind of fix the antibiotics industry through payments to incubator companies for phase 3 and for reimbursement once they're approved. So they're quite substantial. We could get $750 million to $3 billion over 10 years if the Pasteur Act is approved, for example. And we understand that it's bubbled right up to the top of the pack.
Oh, wow. And so the next 6 months are going to be very crucial for you.
Yes.
So.
After the next 6 months, we should be starting Acurx 3.0. Acurx 1.0 is when we started the company, bought the asset, financed it privately, and then 2.0 started with the IPO in June 21. And we're about 6 months away, I hope, from Acurx 3.0.
Okay. Well, I know you'll keep us updated as all these trial, the data come in and all that.
Definitely. I appreciate it, Jane.
Thank you so much, David.
Thank you.
Do your employees use Zoom? Do your employees use Microsoft Teams? Professionals need enhanced security. Add Verify's Defender for the only secure, zero-trust video conferencing protection. Your employees, clients, and patients deserve it.
Soil organic matter offers several added benefits. It filters and cleans water, enhances water retention and storage, mitigates the impact of extreme weather, and improves soil structure to produce more feed, fiber, and food. Less land, less water, less energy, and fewer nutrient inputs. New biodiversity, carbon, and water markets are emerging, producing goods that enhance human and environmental health.
Out of control inflation, escalating government debt, gas and energy bills burning through your savings, and a spiraling war in Europe. The world feels like a very uncertain place right now, and it's harder and harder to take control of your money and safeguard your savings. I mean, why would anyone want to keep their money in a bank that's only going to lend it out for its own profit? putting your savings at risk. And for what? A pittance in interest? Well, let me tell you about Glint and how they can help you to save in real gold you can spend like dollars. Now, first off, Glint's not a bank or crypto or some new type of credit card. What Glint provides is the ability and freedom to buy, save, and spend real allocated gold that's secured in Brink's vaults and insured by Lloyd's of London. Glint's Smart app and MasterCard is leading the payments revolution, putting you in control of your money by making real gold, trusted for thousands of years, into an instant, secure digital currency for the modern world. Best of all, your gold is always your gold. It's no one else's liability. It's secure and allocated to you. It never goes away, even in a crash. To learn more, go to glintpay.com or download Glint from your favorite app store. It's time to take control of your money and protect it with the time-tested security of gold and the modern digital convenience of Glint. Gold is security. Glint, it's key.
Hempacco is disrupting tobacco with hemp cigarettes. Now, the company is traded here at the NASDAQ. The ticker symbol is HPCO. And with me is Sandro Piancone, the co-founder and CEO of the company, and Jorge Olson, a co-founder and chief marketing officer. So welcome back. You just rang the bell here not that long ago,
Yeah, 3
right?
weeks ago. So we're excited to be here. We're in the same exact room. Thank you for this morning.
Yeah, so what is the mission, the vision of the company?
I'm going to let Jorge answer
Sure.
that.
We are disrupting, like you said, the $1 trillion tobacco industry. Now we're doing it with smoking alternatives to nicotine and tobacco. That includes hemp, but it's not the only thing that we're doing. We're also making in our factory in San Diego, California, other products. Now why with hemp? Because hemp is in vogue, and also hemp is functional, so we are able to deliver function to the smoke so that you feel something. For example, relaxation with CBD, or sleep with CBN, or energy or focus with other cannabinoids that we're working on. The hemp industry and the cannabis industry are about $25 billion currently. Tobacco is $1 trillion currently, and this is why we're disrupting tobacco. It needs to be disrupted, that's number one, and also it's an incredible market opportunity.
Yeah, and you have some joint venture partners as well, Cheech and Chong and Rick Ross, so tell me about those.
Yeah, so they are, unlike a normal licensing agreement, they're our partners. We have 2 joint ventures, Cheech and Chong. We worked with them to create their product. This is the product here that they have, Cheech and Chong hemp smokables, and also the boss, Rick Ross, we have his product. So we matched, they have a champagne called Rosé, and we matched it to the exact flavor. So they're both smokables, and we have hemp wrap papers that we do with them.
Interesting. And what about the IP and patents?
Yes, in order to develop a process that we can take hemp and put it into cigarettes, because they look just exactly like cigarettes, it took us 2 years and about 14 pieces of intellectual property. Of those, we've patented a few, and we're trying to patent more. Some of them in the process we will not, but the ones that are infringed upon are the ones that are patented. For example, one of them is to spray the flower with terpenes. We use that for the function. The other one is for the filter, to infuse the filter. So we're the only ones that can infuse flower to roll it into cigarettes or whatever else, and also paper, filters, etc.
Yeah, so it may look like a regular pack of cigarettes, but there's a lot of technology behind that. So we're a consumer goods company with technology, and we own our own factory.
Yeah. So tell me about the go-to-market strategy with this products.
Sure. So 97% of all cigarettes are bought at what you would call a convenience store, liquor store. So that's where we want to be with our products. Unlike tobacco products, we're allowed to be on the counter, and we can advertise. Yeah. So if you go in, there's 100,000 mom and pop liquor stores throughout the U.S. That's our target market. Anywhere in the 50 states, hemp is legal, and also internationally. We opened an office in Poland this year.
Yeah, interesting. And what should investors look for in terms of catalysts in the future that may involve expansion or growth of the company? Either one?
Take that one.
Yeah, Catalyst, so 3 things. One is as we sign up these master distributors, what we're looking for are master distributors that go to these liquor stores. So as that happens, we put out press releases. Also new technologies as we license new patents or file new patents. And then third are acquisitions. So those are the 3 catalysts that we're looking at. And of course, new celebrity joint ventures.
Okay, interesting. Okay, thank you so much for coming
Thank
by.
you so much.
Do your employees use Zoom? Do your employees use Microsoft Teams? Professionals need enhanced security. Add Verify's Defender for the only secure zero trust video conferencing protection. Your employees, clients, and patients deserve it.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download Secure. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Secure is a platform that provides messaging and email in a secure way. They never sell or market your data. And with me is the CEO Alan Gyahi to talk about the company. And I know I always enjoy talking to you about cybersecurity issues, and we've seen there's something every day. One of the most interesting ones lately was banks, and they were fined like a ton of money because employees were using WhatsApp. So what was behind that fine? And why was that not a secure thing to do?
Exactly. So they were fined $2 billion for using WhatsApp when they communicate, whether within themselves or with clients. And that's important to know because a banker may have a very strict system at their office, but then a lot of time bankers deal with international clients or people that are not 9 to 5, and then the customer or the client essentially has, WhatsApp or text. I mean, I've been reading about that even a few months ago. The chairman of Deutsche Bank was also using, and now the fines are set because it's not, you're sending people's conversation and data and financial info on a system that's hacked and that's kind of public.
Right, but it isn't WhatsApp supposed to be all encrypted, but no.
No,
right?
Well, it's like buying a car. You will have 4 wheels and you will go from A to B. Or you want to have the Land Rover Defender, which I'm going to say we are that because we resist all sorts of hacks and we have the privacy. It depends what you want. Encryption you can get off the shelf. If a teenager can get you some encrypted software. And that's essentially what it is because big tech and those data mining companies, all the big names that we know.
WhatsApp is owned by Facebook.
The big 5 of them, Facebook, Meta, WhatsApp, it's the same company. They make more money on your data than selling you for $5, $10 a month of service. So they need that data, they location track you, they data mine you, and then they resell that to other businesses.
So how is Secure different than by what's currently on the market?
Well, Secure, first of all, we're hosted in Switzerland only. We have our own proprietary infrastructure. That means we're not hosted on third-party cloud providers, like the big names that we all know. We have a proprietary tech. Most importantly, we keep everything private. We don't sell your data, rent it, or look at it. And we have a lot of privacy tools. For example, when you register, you never give away your phone number. Because that's the first thing. If you go to any app store, the first thing they ask you is your phone number, and then you can download, but then anybody can go and get those phone number and hack you remotely. So in the messenger part, for example, we came up with something called chat by invite, which is valid in 61 countries, where you can invite somebody via a text message to click on a link and chat with you confidentially. And if you're here and somebody else is in Japan, for example, you're both chatting in Switzerland, essentially, because we connect to the server in Switzerland. We have a bunch of privacy tools. We've got secure mail for email, messenger, the whole combo. We're launching a VPN as well next year. So,
Okay. Now, would you say you're more for businesses or consumers, or either?
We have both. We have a ton of consumers buying our solution because people are concerned with a couple things. First of all, their privacy, and then also they're concerned about being censored in a way. From whichever left, right, center you come from, there's a lot of political discussion, financial discussion, and they want to have that privacy. So we have consumers, we have SMB, we're launching now for the enterprise, we have government organization and defense departments overseas that are interested in that messenger because there's nothing else in the market when you think about it. So we do the gamut pretty much.
Well, and I would think anybody would be interested in having, you know, privacy. It seems like a market for everyone. And you mentioned you're in 61 countries, right? So
yes, so the chat by invite, it's a way to invite someone who doesn't have secure. You can email anybody in the world, but a lot of people like to use text. So I can send a text to people in 61 different countries because you need a gateway for the country code and all that.
Yes.
And then the person can click on a link, chat with me without having to download secure or give away any information. And when I'm done, I can terminate the conversation. And what we did for banks, for example, and other people now, is that now in the enterprise version, they can archive the entire conversation. Because banks, one of the reasons why they got in trouble is that they need an archiving system, they need to comply with certain FINRA and all these other regulations. So it's amazing. You can literally chat with anybody in the world pretty much, and then we cover like 3.4 billion people with that SMS with full privacy for both parties, not just the sender.
Yeah, and is there plans for expansion?
Yes, actually, yesterday I was on the call with Latin America, Central America to be more precise. We're in Mexico, we're launching in Colombia, Guatemala, Chile, maybe Argentina. We have different distributors. So next year we see a big jump in Central and Latin America. Those accounts are mostly enterprise and government. You have the, governments over there have a lot of employees and they can't use WhatsApp because they're being hacked. They don't have these big infrastructures like maybe the US government would have, right, with the billions of dollars. So we see a lot of promise there. Obviously expansion in the US. And now we launch in 8 different currencies. So we have people coming from New Zealand, from United Kingdom, from Singapore, buying in local currency. So next year the big expansion is going to be Central and Latin America. Expand the US next year to B2B. We have partnerships we're signing that will expand next year. So we're really going to get a strong foothold in the United States as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Alon.
Thank you, Jen. Thanks.
Do your employees use Zoom? Do your employees use Microsoft Teams? Professionals need enhanced security. Add Zarify's Defender for the only secure, zero-trust video conferencing protection. Your employees, clients, and patients deserve it.
Thousands of people use Phantom every day to access DeFi, NFT, Metaverse, and GameFi decentralized applications. On Phantom, you can trade, lend, and borrow in a fully decentralized way with instant speed and near zero fees. Whether you're an artist or a collector, there's a rich and accessible NFT ecosystem to explore. Join your friends in the Metaverse for exciting digital experiences or play revolutionary Web3 games. Join Phantom today.
Out of control inflation, escalating government debt, gas and energy bills burning through your savings, and a spiraling war in Europe. The world feels like a very uncertain place right now, and it's harder and harder to take control of your money and safeguard your savings. I mean, why would anyone want to keep their money in a bank that's only going to lend it out for its own profit? Putting your savings at risk, and for what? A pittance in interest? Well, let me tell you about Glint and how they can help you to save in real gold you can spend like dollars. Now, first off, Glint's not a bank or crypto or some new type of credit card. What Glint provides is the ability and freedom to buy, save, and spend real allocated gold that's secured in Brink's vaults and insured by Lloyd's of London. Glint's Smart app and MasterCard is leading the payments revolution, putting you in control of your money by making real gold, trusted for thousands of years, into an instant, secure, digital currency for the modern world. Best of all, your gold is always your gold. It's no one else's liability. It's secure and allocated to you. It never goes away, even in a crash. To learn more, go to glentpay.com or download Glent from your favorite app store. It's time to take control of your money and protect it with the time-tested security of gold and the modern digital convenience of Glent. Gold is security. Glent, it's key.
Democracy Investments is looking for places to invest in democracies, but also helping other countries become more democratic. And with me is the CEO, Julie Kane, to talk about the mission of this. And I want to just start a little bit because you're a naval, or were a naval pilot. Tell me about that. Like, what was that experience like?
Yeah, so I began my career in the Navy as an SH-3 pilot. So I got to do combat search and rescue exercises in the Philippines and flew the Navy SEALs around, pulled some Marines out of the jungle. So very early in life, I witnessed firsthand what it's like to be in a less democratic country. And I think that shaped and that drives our mission for me and my partners. Yeah. We're all very passionate about democracy.
And to what you're doing today. So, I mean, for those of us who haven't, been in non-democratic states, I mean, what did you see? Like, what were things that we maybe take for granted here in the U.S.?
Oh, everything from healthcare to education to just basic dignity and civil liberties. I could go on and on. Freedom of speech, free and fair elections. At the time I was there, they were worried about a coup, and so we were exerting our influence to make sure that didn't happen.
So I think it's really interesting you launched during the pandemic, because I feel like a lot of people were like, what is going on here? Like, they felt like for the first time maybe what it was like to lose a democracy or to have authoritarian rules and things like that.
Absolutely.
So what led you to launch this? And did you see those kinds of things happening?
So we were watching the flow of capital into the passive international index funds, and many of the international indices have been pressured to allocate more and more and more to authoritarian states over the years. And so we wanted to come up with a simple strategy to undo that and help the capital flow more towards democracies. So countries who care about free and fair elections, freedom of speech, enforce the contracts and property rights, and care about civil liberties. So that was the drive behind it. Now it just happened to be during COVID when we could pull everything together.
Okay. So you had this process started even before the pandemic?
We were thinking about it before, yeah.
Okay. And it does feel like some of the more authoritarian countries have gotten more investment money lately. I mean, I know China's gotten a lot lately. Vietnam, which I've been to and loved, but they've been getting a lot of growth as well. How do you see the global democratic picture right now?
Well, sadly, it's in decline. Democracy's on the defense. The Economist does a great job of publishing country democracy scores every year. And in 2021, it was one of the worst years ever, with over half of the world's population not living in a democracy. So the trends continue to get worse. And we are completely honored to be partnered with them. We have a license to use those country scores in our strategy.
I see.
And there are 60 different indicators for every country in the world. We're just following the ones that are in developed and emerging markets. Our strategy is mostly developed markets.
Interesting. Well, I was going to ask about your parameters. So you get them from The Economist. And then, but you also will put money into an authoritarian country. Right. And what's the strategy behind that?
So we don't screen any country out that's a developed market or emerging market. We just neutrally reweight their tilt in the portfolio according to the security's country of risk. So we're merging an all-world ex-US index, 2,800 international equities, large cap, mid cap, and we're merging that with the Economist Democracy Index, the country score. So unlike the other huge international index products out there, like over $1 trillion following these products, they are, I would say, overly allocated to authoritarian states. We're trying to undo that so investors can get some international exposure while supporting democracy, and given everything we've seen going on in the world, less risk, less volatility.
Yeah. So, and that's really it seems like there's with the democratic states, you've got a rule of law, and things are more transparent, or at least ideally.
Yes.
So those are the kind of things that you look for that really have lead to a thriving economy.
Exactly. And again, we're relying on the economists to make, because they've I mean, all those academics, very, very robust process every year, deciding what the country score is.
And you mentioned that I tweeted about The Economist.
Yes, I love that.
Is doing a podcast on Xi Jinping.
Yes, the prince.
Yes, and it's excellent. And it even goes back to how he's growing up and some of his philosophies about government, and how I feel like everybody should listen to that. It is extremely well done. So, I mean, you like The Economist, and you also think that they're providing a lot of intelligence, for people globally to know what's going on.
I completely agree with you, and thank you for tweeting that. And I do think everyone should listen to that podcast series. Yes, I'm a huge fan of The Economist. They're supportive of our strategy, so we're super excited to have the license with them for financial products globally.
Yeah. No, I would say anybody who can. I think you might have to be a subscriber, but it's really, really well done and great. So, Julie, great to meet you, and I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
Because I feel like once you've lost a democracy, it's really, really hard, if not impossible, to get it back. So,
yeah,
we need to protect what we have.
Agreed. These are very interesting times. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Soil organic matter offers several added benefits. It filters and cleans water, enhances water retention and storage, mitigates the impact of extreme weather, and improves soil structure to produce more feed, fiber, and food. Less land, less water, less energy, and fewer nutrient inputs. New biodiversity, carbon, and water markets are emerging, producing goods that enhance human and environmental health.
Thousands of people use Phantom every day to access DeFi, NFT, Metaverse, and GameFi decentralized applications. On Phantom, you can trade, lend, and borrow in a fully decentralized way with instant speed and near zero fees. Whether you're an artist or a collector, there's a rich and accessible NFT ecosystem to explore. Join your friends in the Metaverse for exciting digital experiences or play revolutionary Web3 games. Join Phantom today.
Do your employees use Zoom? Do your employees use Microsoft Teams? Professionals need enhanced security. Add Zarify's Defender for the only secure, zero-trust video conferencing protection. Your employees, clients, and patients deserve it.
Out of control inflation, escalating government debt, gas and energy bills burning through your savings, and a spiraling war in Europe. The world feels like a very uncertain place right now, and it's harder and harder to take control of your money and safeguard your savings. I mean, why would anyone want to keep their money in a bank that's only going to lend it out for its own profit? Putting your savings at risk, and for what? A pittance in interest? Well, let me tell you about Glint and how they can help you to save in real gold you can spend like dollars. Now, first off, Glint's not a bank or crypto or some new type of credit card. What Glint provides is the ability and freedom to buy, save, and spend real allocated gold that's secured in Brink's vaults and insured by Lloyd's of London. Glint's Smart app and MasterCard is leading the payments revolution, putting you in control of your money by making real gold, trusted for thousands of years, into an instant, secure digital currency for the modern world. Best of all, your gold is always your gold. It's no one else's liability. It's secure and allocated to you. It never goes away, even in a crash. To learn more, go to glintpay.com or download Glint from your favorite app store. It's time to take control of your money and protect it with the time-tested security of gold and the modern digital convenience of Glint. Gold is security. Glint, it's key.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland. using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download Secure. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Welcome, everybody. This is your Secure Privacy and Security segment. I'm Anna Berry, along with the CEO of Secure Private Data, Alain Guillay. Welcome, Alain.
Thank you, Anna. Hi, everyone.
So today for your weekly hack, we're talking about purchasing goods and items through social media. I know I've done it. I will go to Facebook Marketplace and I'll search in, let's say, a camper, because I'm going to get one day. And so what happens is I get directed to these profiles. I don't even know if they're human. And what I've been noticing is they are always asking me to send my information, like my email, my name. I've even had someone request for me to send an address. So let's talk about that. I know a lot of people are going through Marketplace, even Instagram. When it comes to privacy and securing our privacy, what are some tips you have for us?
Sure, that's a great example because we're approaching the Christmas season. It's going to be Thanksgiving soon, and then Black Monday. So what I recommend is that when you give any kind of personal detail, first of all, don't use social media. And then if you're looking at a camper company in particular, I would recommend to contact them directly because a lot of businesses go on social media to attract buyers volume. There's also a lot of scammers that some people are sophisticated. They'll put a fake website that looks like the legitimate one. That's another good one. So I would always try to contact the company itself. And then when they ask you, send us your name, your info, what are you looking for? And eventually it gets to give us a credit card for the deposit or something like that. First of all, I would definitely not use a regular email. I'd use a highly encrypted email, similar to Secure if you have any. And in our case, it would be, we have a solution for how to send to non-secure user. So I would use that kind of communication because the bots or the hackers or the machines, they are collecting every single word that you type on social media. So if your name is Anna Berry and you live at this address, because they're gonna need to know usually a zip code, right? Because sometimes there's a distributor in your area for that, and those kind of big ticket item, which a camper is a big ticket item, people are going to be salivating, trying to take your detail and eventually trying to see where you bank and take money from your bank or your credit card. And then, steal your identity eventually.
So, Alain, let's talk about some solutions for this because you often mention having two distinct emails. One email, your Yahoo, your Microsoft, your big tech email, and then the other, the secure mail. Talk a little bit about what differentiates the two and where we should plug in these emails. There's certain companies where we can plug in our emails for that 15% off, but other valuable information, we need to make sure we're using something like Secure.
That's very well put. You have your mass market kind of junk email. I have a few of those where you want to get your 15% off coupon on DoorDash or whatever you want. That's good. Okay, that's convenient. Now, if you do a more serious thing, the difference between Secure and all other big tech email and solutions is that, first of all, we're hosted in Switzerland in our own infrastructure, and we don't data mine you, we don't sell your data, we don't touch it, we don't look at it. So that's huge because even if you're in Switzerland, if you're using a third-party hosting company, that third party could resell your data. In fact, there's a law that I don't think many people in the US know, and Buck Sexton out of the Blaze way back in 2014, Buck Sexton is a very famous TV person, he's all over the media, and he has his show. He mentioned, and he's an ex-CIA analyst, he mentioned that there's a law in the US that says that if you hand over your data to a third party, which these email providers are, you have no longer rights to that data. It belongs to them too. We don't have such laws in Switzerland. I mean, if I divulge your IP address, I could go to jail. It's a criminal offense. So that's a huge thing, the privacy that you get, and also the fact that we don't use open source coding that can be hacked by anybody that's been worked on the same codes and it's kind of off the shelf. Think of us as the tailor-made type of coding. And then we have encryption methodologies that are highly complex.
Well, these are great. It's a great service and great features. Plus, you are offering our audience a discount. Tell us about that.
Yes, we are offering 15% discount for a whole year. So I would recommend, if you're convinced of the product and you have nothing to lose, because for 7 days it's free, buy the yearly package because you're going to get 2 months for free, and it gives you 15% off the whole thing on top of the 2 months for free. So the promo code is SECURE15, SECUR15. I would recommend buy the Secure package, which officially is $10 a month or $100 a year. It gives you an email and a messenger, because probably next week we can talk about what our messenger does, where you can message someone similarly without the hackers or anybody looking at it, without giving your phone number away. And you can also message people who don't have the app, which is really cool. And you don't need to use an app. If you really don't want to use any kind of Android or iOS app, you can use all our services on a web-based system. So Secure 15, get your 15% off. And if you have questions, you go to our website, watch the tutorial, or we have great support. Our support is in-house, open 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern. We do not outsource anything. And unlike everything going up in inflation, our prices are not going up, just so you know.
Fantastic. Well, great options for users out there and great solutions for all of us. So thank you so much for another weekly hack. We look forward to next week's. Thank you, Alain.
Thanks, Anna. Thanks, everyone, for watching. See you next week.